everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with another video, and I think this video is quite important, you guys, as I'm going to break down what's going on DC NFT with the Bat Cowls, with this Flash comic that's coming out, on Thursday, okay? So this is going to be coming up very soon in 2 days from when I'm doing this video. And I've been looking at this event quite a lot, and I know there's been a lot of kind of like, up and down about how people feel about this event for DC, but I'm going to break it down and show you that there is a tremendous opportunity for scarcity involved in this that we may have not seen before. And I really think once you look at it closely, it's going to be quite interesting. I'm going to tell you what my strategy is, what I'm going to do, because there's going to be an opportunity to potentially get a legendary where maybe only 10 people hold it. And it could possibly be a Jim Lee signed variant. It is quite something, you guys. So if you do like this video, make sure you hit like. You got to comment down below, and you got to let me know what you're doing about this. Are you going for this comic? After I break it down, just stay tuned for the whole video. I'm going to get into it a bit, so it's going to take a few minutes. So just make sure you stay tuned because I don't want you to miss anything. And of course, make sure you're over on the Discord. And make sure you're in the Bat Cowl Twitter spaces because, they're really talking about this a lot. And I think it's really important for people who don't understand what the event is really all about and how it doesn't diminish what we got. I think it really improves what we got. You can also follow me on Twitter, and I'll follow you back there too, for sure. And by the way, if you join my channel as a member, I'm going to be doing comic giveaways to my members who hold my drop head NFT. So, I'll be having Flash and Superman and all sorts of comics as this event unfolds that go out for weekly rewards. So you're going to want to do that too. Just join my channel, DM me, I'll get you into the program. So let's get into this, you guys. This is something. So when I first saw this, I was kind of like, wow, this is really in depth, but here's the basic beginning. Is that, as most of you probably know, there is a Flash comic that is coming, and it's coming on June 15th. Okay. And it's the same kind of normal drop we're always going to get. Now, here's the thing that's interesting about it. Each one of those versions that there exist, right? There's the common and the uncommon, and of course the legendary and all that. Each one of those is a key to another drop that's coming up later this month. So if you go after this drop, depending on which one you land, you'll be able to go after another comic drop if you hold that one. So basically, for example, the uncommon, okay, which I think a lot of people are going to go for, will give you access to the Superman 1 variant drop that's coming up in a little while. So, if you get one of these types of ones here on Thursday, it will give you the access to go after, another one later. Okay. So that's kind of the gist of how this works. Now, the legendary on this one is going to be very scarce. Okay. And so just like normal. So if you get a legendary here, it gives you access to go after a future drop. Okay. And the future drop I'll explain in just a minute. Now, the crazy part about it, here's the thing I want you to remember is that in each time you get one of these variants here, okay, the next drop has 5 variants as well. So think about this. If you get the legendary on this drop right here on Thursday, you will have access to another drop that has 5 variants, and there is a legendary in that. So if you just do the math, if you get a legendary here and then you go for that drop and get that legendary, that one right there is going to be really, really scarce, you guys, because it takes only the people who own this legendary can go after that drop there, and that drop will have 5 variants. So you can see the only people who own that legendary are going to be very scarce. And apparently, if you're into the Discord, there is some rumors and hints that that particular last legendary might be a Jim Lee signed one, might be there might only be 10 people who own that comic on DC. So this is a really quite scarce event. Now, if we go into the Medium article, let's break this down just a little bit more. Okay, here we go. We got the first drop is this fastest man alive. Okay, so this is the one right here, okay, that we're getting. Then there's the multiverse drop. So here we go. Like I will show you. This is the first drop right here. You get all of these 5 variants right here. They're from different ages and different worlds, okay? So this is kind of like the multiverse. It ties into the movie, which is really cool. But there's that legendary over there. You see that legendary? If you get this modern age legendary right there, boom. Then you'll be able to go after, if you go right here, the July 6th right here, a drop. And that is the Flash Legendary tier, Batman 608. So in that drop, Okay, there's going to be 5 variants. So the legendary of that drop on July 6th is going to be incredibly scarce. Okay, it's super scarce, you guys. They're like I said, there might only be 10 because if you think about it, there's only going to be like a couple hundred people who even get this legendary here. And then a couple hundred people are going to be able to go for the July 6th drop. And then in that drop, there's going to be different tiers, right? So like the legendary of that one, as I repeat myself, I just want to make sure everybody knows that legendary is going to be super scarce. Now, the thing that most people want to do right here is they want to go for the uncommon. So here is the uncommon right here. Okay, this is from the golden age right here. And because people, this is for the drop that's coming up on Thursday, the 15th. If you get this uncommon, you'll be able to go after, okay, right here on June 22nd, okay, in another week from now, the Flash Uncommon Superman 1 Multiverse Edition. So you have Superman 1 coming out again. Now, I know a lot of people were really concerned about this at the beginning. They're like, wow, they're bringing out a Superman 1 drop again, okay? So if you get the uncommon of this Flash one, you can go for the Superman 1. But the thing about it is that there's 5 variants in there from different multiverses. So it's not the same Superman 1 cover. It's not going to diminish Superman 1 that we already have. It actually just adds some fun to it. And the legendary of that one's going to be really cool too. Now, we haven't seen what they look like, so it's going to be really fun, but there's going to be different ones in there that from different, multiverses. So that's the one I'm going for, right? So that's interesting. Then you have the different drops as well. If you get the common right here, you can go after the future state Wonder Woman. There's going to be different versions of that, like different versions of Wonder Woman from that world. Then on June 27th, there's if you get the what do you call the rare right here, you'll be able to go after Flash 1, 2, 3, which is the one where the 2 flashes. And then if you get the epic tier right here, you'll be able to go after this one on June 29th, which is Aquaman. So that one's also going to be quite scarce. There's going to be a legendary in that one as well. And then of course the Batman 608 is the big one. So the way it works, you guys, is that each one of these tiers, there's a legendary in there. And each one of those legendaries is going to get more and more scarce. Do you understand? So like, for example, this is how it works. If you get an epic, okay, like, so if you do this drop and you get the epic one right here, okay, so if you go down here and you get this epic one right here, you're able to go after that drop right here on June 29th. And in that drop, there's 5 variants and there's a legendary in it, right, of the Aquaman. So that's going to be really scarce as well, because as it gets more down the tiers, there's only the amount of people that can go for these are going to be able to go for the next one, which really diminishes. There's not going to be 30,000 right now. Here's the other thing. If not everybody goes for this main drop right here on the 15th, then you're going to have even less people going for these, right? So it just gets exponentially, or however you say it, scarcer and scarcer as you go down the line, all the way to July 6th, which is the only one who can go after Batman 608. That whole drop are the legendary holders of this flash drop. And like I said, there's 5 variants in there. There's going to be a common, uncommon, rare, epic, and all that. And the legendary, that one, there might only be 10 in there. It is going to be the most scarcest comic that we have on the app. And then the original stuff like Superman #1 over there is not going to be affected as much, in my opinion, just because Superman 1, the original one that we have already, is already so scarce, and it's the actual version. These other ones are variants, right? And when variants come out in the real world, they're kind of like, additional printed variants, like almost like facsimiles that come out later. They don't affect the value of the original. And that's what Jim Lee said from the start. Jim Lee put out basically a few tweets, and it was quite interesting. And in Discord, and he was like, look, coming out with variants doesn't affect the originals. It actually just enhances them, in his opinion, right? So it's quite crazy. There's 6 comics right here, like I said, coming after this with 30 different covers and multiple possibilities. And like I said, each one of these has a legendary in it that gets more and more scarce as time goes on. So you guys let me know what you're going to do. What I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to go for this uncommon one right here on Thursday. That way I can then go into, the June 22nd drop for the Superman 1. I want to try to get that. So I'm going to try to go for that one. And then I'll just see what I get. But I am definitely going for this one on Thursday. If I land a legendary, okay, if you land this comic right here, this legendary, then you will be one of the select few that can go for the July 6th drop. And the legendary in that is going to be bonkers. So I hope that makes sense, you guys. let me know if I missed anything. That's how I see it. If I missed anything, let me know in the comment section. Let me know if you're going for this one. It is going to be quite something, you guys. I really do like what they're doing here. I think it's really quite cool and different. I spent a bunch of days looking at this, and I know that there's some people in the community who aren't happy about this, and I can understand why. They don't want to diminish what we had in the past. But at the same time, this is a crazy opportunity, once you understand it, to go after some super scarce new comics that are going to look absolutely fantastic, right? So you guys let me know what you think. Good luck on the drop. Try to get that legendary on Thursday. I mean, that's your access pass. And the next comic that you'll be able to go after that is just going to be so scarce. It's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. Even the epic or the rare as well. But I'm going after Superman 1. That's my thing. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, and happy collecting.